So Jared Wright here, live Louisville, Kentucky. There's a lot going on today. I'm going to try to pull up this flyer real quick so I can show you what we're doing at this moment. So right now we are at a Free Palestine rally, Louisville, Kentucky. There have been a few here since conflicts have started to rise again in the Middle East. One thing to know is that those conflicts have never stopped. It's not like the attack by Hamas triggered really anything, because this has been going on for decades and decades. So that is something to keep in mind. Aside from this rally, there is a walk going on down at Waterfront. Chalk It Up's out there. I've used a little bit of their footage and posted it. That is for suicide prevention. It is so I've got a little bit of footage up from that. Tara and Summer are covering March to the Polls with Until Freedom, who is currently in town. So they've been live off and on all day, so you can go check out footage there. I've also shared that on Riot Heart. But yeah, here at this very moment, I am live for this Free Palestine rally. So let's go ahead and check out a little bit of what's going on. We're out in the Beechmont neighborhood. Wi-Fi or reception's always a little spotty when I'm out here. So it's going to be a little hit or miss, but I'm going to try to get as much footage for y'all as I possibly can. Again, we are in the Beechmont neighborhood of Louisville, Kentucky. So, yeah. Give me just a moment to get this stuff arranged, and then we're going to take a look.
What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! I think we have few speakers today. I'm one of them, but I don't know if I'm the first one or not.
Love you too, bro.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Let's begin with a land acknowledgement. As this sounding is happening, we also want to acknowledge where we are, on whose land. The sounding can keep going. Do not hesitate if you feel the need to express yourself and shout. I love that. That is what this is about, so we will not be silent. We are here on the ancestral homeland of many indigenous people who were forcibly removed from their land. And I want to name them and call them in this moment. We call in our ancestors for a protection, for joy, for celebration, to remember. So I'm going to name the people on whose land we stand. The Shawnee, the Chickasaw, the Hopewell, the Adena, the Osage, the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, and many, many more whose names were erased due to genocide, mass removal, and erasure. We give it up to them. We thank them for these trees, for this land, and to remind us to be better ancestors. I also want to acknowledge the river. We were acknowledging the river earlier with our chants because rivers and water are our teachers, our sustainers, and our connectors. We have the honor to be here near the Ohio River. It has always been called the Ohio River. That is its true name. And so when we say Ohio, we remind ourselves that here in Kentucky, there was a group of people who banded together to demand dignity and humanity for the Black enslaved folks. And they, together with indigenous, Black, brown, and white abolitionists, moved people across the great Ohio to freedom. And so I just give it up to the Ohio. I give it up to this place. And I remind us that we are on hallowed ground. We stand on the shoulders of people who were brave enough to stand up against genocide, erasure, and indignity. And that's why we're here today, to call for a ceasefire now. I just want to thank the Louisville Coalition for Palestine. I want to thank them for being brave enough to gather us together and to call us together for this moment. And I want to thank you all who have the courage. Maya Angelou has this beautiful quote about how courage is the necessary thing. Because if we don't have courage, all the rest of it, we just show up empty, right? So the courage to come here and stand with our bodies, with our children, people are risking their jobs, their lives. So I just want to thank you all for your courage to stand here together, holding up signs, raising your voices, wearing scarves, to remind Louisville and this Beechmont neighborhood that weapons are being used to destroy humans that are made right here. And we say no more. We are demanding a ceasefire and lifting up. This is not a
What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now!
I just also want to thank you so much. Anyone who is Palestinian, who feels called to come up and share, this is your space. We want to make space for you. We want to hear from you. So feel free to come up and grab the bullhorn, or if you need to be here on the mic, you are welcome to do that. We welcome you, and we just want to celebrate and just let's give some warm love and clap and share for all of the Palestinian people who are here. Thank you for being here. I hope you feel loved. I hope you feel seen, and today you will be heard. Thank you.
Free, free Palestine! 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 Free, free Palestine!
And lastly, I just want to remind us that we keep us safe. Can I hear that? We keep us safe.
We keep us safe!
We keep us safe.
We keep us safe!
We keep us safe.
We keep us safe!
There are children here, there are mamas, there are elders. So have your eyes open and be willing to say, we're going to keep you safe. I am going to hop off the mic, and I would love to, thank you! I would love to just give some space to this amazing human behind me, which I will let them introduce themselves. But let's give a shout of joy and just make some space for the songs that are about to be shared. Let's hear it!
Thank you. I'm John Gage, and I've been singing around. The energy here feels wonderful. It's divine, and it is a force to be reckoned with. And even though man is a minority, our voices are heard. We speak clearly, we speak honestly, we speak the truth. Ceasefire now. No more children.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
I want you all to sing along with me. If you know this song, or if you don't, you'll know it within the first verse anyway. I want to lay lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Where? Gotta be a lot louder than that. Where? Down by the riverside. We're gonna lay down that sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. No more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. Gonna talk to the Prince of Peace down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Gonna talk to the Prince of Peace down by the riverside. Study war no more. Ain't gonna study war. I wanna hear you all. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. No more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. We all know this place over here, BEA, is that right? Yeah. BEA, yeah, okay. Hey, hey, BEA. No more sword and shield. No more military power. Hey, hey, BEA. This is the hour. We're gonna lay down our sword and shield down by the riverside. Where? Down by the riverside. Louder. Down by the riverside. Lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. By the riverside. It's a beautiful song we sing. Sang many years ago. I've been singing this song over 50 years. This weary world has had its fill of words of war on every hill. The time has come for peaceful days, for peaceful folks, peaceful ways. I'll sing a line, you sing it back to me. If I were free to speak my mind, I'd tell a tale to humankind. I'd tell a tale to humankind of how the flowers do bloom and fade, of how the flowers do bloom and fade, of how we've fought and how we've paid. I wrote some new words to this song. It goes like this. I'll sing it for you. Find your voice, speak your mind, bring words of truth to humankind. Be the eyes for a world gone blind. Find your voice, speak your mind. When you wake up in the morning, read the news, it's very clear to see the whole world's confused. Cynical voices say you're too weak, too small. If you try to fly, you're bound to fall. A courageous heart, so hard to find, calls to you, speak your mind, stand up tall, bend and be strong, lift your voice, sing a song. Yeah, a courageous heart, so hard to find, calls to you, speak your mind. Stand up tall, stand and be strong. Lift your voice, sing your song. I wrote these words the other night about this song. The next song I want to sing in the same key, and you can sing it along as with me, is called There's a Mighty Train A-Comin'. And here's what I believe. I believe in us. I believe in the force that we can have when we come and are unified and are one. I think it is a force to be reckoned with. And I remember Dr. King saying so many years ago, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Martin Luther King. So we gotta know that change takes a long time. I know I won't live to see it. I know, as Irish Dement says in a new song, I'm working on a world I may never see, but we're still working. I'm working for our children, working for many generations to come. And change does happen. And we're the bearers of this hope. It's not just wishing for peace. It's being active to advocate for peace and to keep that truth always ringing in the ears of those who are stubborn, refusing to listen. We've got to be there. It's more than just wishing. By our beliefs and by our actions, we open the door for this new world coming inexorably as a mighty train. There's a mighty train a-comin', it's on the way. There's a mighty train coming, it's on the way. There's a mighty train a-comin', you can hear those rails a-humming. There's a mighty train coming, it's on the way. He's got the rhythm going, that's beautiful. Is that me? I've heard this other way before. How about this one? Freedom is a-comin', it's on the way. Sing it with me. Freedom is a-comin', it's on the way. Freedom is a-comin', hear the old guitar is strumming. Freedom is a-comin', it's on the way. And justice is a-comin', it's on the way. Justice is a-comin', it's on the way. All Earth's children sharing equally her bounty, 'cause justice is coming, it's on the way. There's a new day dawning, it's on the way. We're the makers, we're the ones that make it happen. There's a new day dawning, it's on the way. The light of love transforming gives the darkness fair warning. A new day is dawning, it's on the way. There's a world without war, it's on the way. You know, I had this thing in my mind. I woke up one morning and this line was there. I didn't think about it before, but in my mind I heard, no one really believes we can have a world without war. And that is precisely what makes it so. So I say to you, we must be the believers. We must be the holders of this promise. There's a world without war. There's a world without war. It's on the way. There's a world without war. It's on the way. Like a mighty train a-comin'. There's a peaceful world to explore. There's a world without a war. It's on the way. Last verse. There's a mighty train. Thank you for your patience. Let me share these things from my heart. I believe in you. I believe in us. Thank you. There's a mighty train coming. It's on the way. There's a mighty train coming. It's on the way. There's a mighty train coming. You can hear those rails a-humming. There's a mighty train coming. It's on the way. Bless you.
Let's hear it one more time for John Cage. Thank you. Yes, thank you all for being here. If everyone can just take a moment and look behind you to see how many people have shown up to support the ceasefire in Palestine. This is an amazing group of people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's hear it one more time just for us, for showing up with courage and strength and community. For those who have any access needs, for example, if you need to sit, there is space up front here. There's a lot of space. If you have children and you want to come and sit with a quick exit, there's some space over here near where this tree is. So please look around and see if there are folks around you that might need a soft place to be. Encourage people to come forward, be close. If you are in the Palestinian community and you want to lead a chant, you have a poem, or you just need to share, please come up. We want to hear from you. And if you are one of our speakers for today, please come up. I need to see you over here. The next person I have an honor to introduce is a dear friend, an organizer, a mother, and she is committed to a community of peace and connectivity. Can I please just hear a loud shout of joy for Valerie?
Welcome again. We're here today to stand in front of BAE and Raytheon as witnesses to say no to profit from genocide, no to lobbying for in this war, no to the murder of civilians, no to the killing of soldiers, no to women giving birth in hospitals with no water, no to cesarean sections with no anesthesia, no to doctors weeping in the halls of hospitals with no medicine and no way to fulfill their mission. No to children so dehydrated that they must cry without tears. No to 26 journalists and counting, hunted down so the world can't see what's happening. But we see what's happening.
Free Palestine! 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 Free Palestine!
Free Palestine. No to the bombing of our sacred earth, to the degradation of our earth, to the massive CO2 emissions created by this war, to missiles that devastate already fragile ecologies. We stand to remember our humanity and to call upon them to remember theirs. The B in BAE stands for blood on the hands of our workers and family members who build the missiles in the factories here. Blood on the soil of this public land we stand on. Blood on our hands as we are forced to be complicit in sharing the profits reaped from the destruction of families, of schools, of last refuges. B for blood on the Statue of Liberty. E for everlasting war without end. What are the systems in BAE systems? Systems of influence that spend millions of dollars lobbying for an even greater share of our money. Lobbyists paid for with profits from what they euphemistically refer to as the restocking and replenishment of stockpiles, as they celebrate death as an increase in shareholder profits, as they work to ensure that no peace is possible and that no ceasefire is called. But a ceasefire will eventually be called when they're certain that the $106 billion military spending package will pass, because BAE and Raytheon need the enemy to survive.
That's right.
They need scapegoats. They will stop just short of the annihilation of the Palestinian people because they need this war to go on forever. They need the provocation of the atrocities of October 7th, and they are the ones who prevent peace from ever being realized. And these companies are the true enemy of all moral people, not the Jewish people, not the Palestinian people, not even Hamas or the Israeli state. Let us oppose the ones who put the weapons in their hands. From the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, from the Ohio River to the Klamath, across all lands and waters, may all people be free.
Can we just say that last part one more time? From the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, from the Ohio to the Klamath, may all people be free. Let me hear it! Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much. Who's the next person? We're looking for some, Serge, where are you at? Serge, where are you at? Oh, hi, thanks. I just shouted out, who's next? Let me hear you all for Serge. This group of phenomenal people go out throughout not just Kentucky, but all over the in lifting up, consolidating, and making sure people have liberty and that people know what is going on in their communities. Because of you all, we defeated Amendment 2. And so much more. They're doing so much. So I'm so thankful that they're here. Many of you are holding signs made by Stretch, who is part of Surge. And we just love to hear from you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the organizers. Really moved to be here. My name's Sonia Wild DeFries, and I'm gonna read a poem and then make a short statement. The poem is from one of our comrades in Bethlehem in the occupied West Bank, Abed Abdel Fattah, and the poem is entitled, "Do You Condemn Hamas?" I condemn not being able to forget that I am a refugee in my country. I condemn my stubborn reclamation of my right to return to my parents' destroyed village. I apologize that I cannot coexist with occupation, dehumanization, oppression, and be happy about it. We will not forget the ones who were silent, nor those who raised their voices and stood with us. And you can continue to push for despair. We will flourish with hope. You can continue to promote death. We will continue to promote life. And we know the West Bank is also under attack. Louisville showing up for racial justice stands with Gaza, calling for an immediate ceasefire. We mourn each and every Palestinian and Israeli life and condemn the Israeli occupation, which is the root of all violence. We condemn the genocide Israel is committing in defense of the 75-plus-year-old occupation. And we condemn the silence and collaboration of U.S. and European leaders. And no, we must fight the racism and Islamophobia that feeds the silence. But the tide is turning toward justice. The people of the world are with Gaza, including hundreds of thousands of Jewish people saying "not in our name," and 70% of the U.S. public calling for a ceasefire. That's right. And we know that when the bombing stops, the fight continues to end the occupation and free Palestine.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free
Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I would love to welcome Jeanette next up to speak. Let's give a loud shout of glory for her. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I want you guys to look around today. And what do you see? We have people of all nations, all skin colors, all different shapes and sizes today because we stand united. We stand united. We are not against anyone. We're not against our Jews. We're not against Christians. We stand united. And I wanted everybody to know that today. We mourn our brothers and sisters and the children that have died. We stand against that. That's what Louisville is against. So I want everybody to repeat after me. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
I can't hear you. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Louisville, you guys are not loud enough. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
One more time. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Today, again, like I mentioned earlier, we are united. We are not against anybody. Okay? So I want to hear you guys one more time. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
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 Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, 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 the fire. Yes. Let's keep it going one more time. Yes. Again, to remind us that we are here for a ceasefire. We stand unified against this horrible atrocities. So thank you so much, Jeanette. If anyone is from the Palestinian community and would like to speak, please meet us over here. I have the honor to welcome a friend from DSA. Let's give it up. Keep the energy up, reminding that we are unified. Thank you again for that reminder. Come on.
Someone else already started off talking today a little bit about bravery, and that's what I'm going to be talking about the need for us to be brave, to not be afraid, to talk about what's happening and what we have to do to stop it. But I didn't start out feeling that way. All right? And at the beginning of the wars that would reshape the policy and politics of this country and lead to 500,000 to 1 million civilians killed. We're not sure, you can't be sure, but 500,000 to 1 million civilians killed in Iraq and Afghanistan, far outnumbering the number of fatalities for combatants.
Get up on it, boy.
Okay, I'll get up on it. I'm gonna step away from it though, because otherwise that's gonna happen. All right. Thank you. The early 2000s wasn't an easy time to say, I have a problem with bombing markets and villages. And I think if you're too young to have had the political awareness of what it was like then, to have lived through it, you maybe don't understand what it was like. To see the political establishment of both parties in lockstep, the media speaking with one voice, or more accurately, setting a microphone down in front of Donald Rumsfeld and Colin Powell and saying, go to town, we're not going to question anything you say. To see the American people ready to be led down that path that would become blood up to our knees. In those early days, it was dangerous to be against war. And, you know, the support for the war wasn't universal. There were people ready to say something. There were marches, some of them were pretty big, but there was no organization, there was no movement. There was no organized left to stop war in 2001, 2003. We were already in a wilderness. That was the worst of the wilderness, to see that happen around us. And so I felt like I was back there. Okay, because, you know, just a few weeks ago, the war machine powered back up for $14 billion in bombs, for endless propaganda, dehumanizing Palestinians, saying it's okay to wipe them out. But it's not 2001, it's not 2003. I was wrong to despair. The political establishment is nearly as united in the support. The media is behind them with the propaganda, calling Palestinians animals. But that third element, where the Democratic and Republican parties and nightly news hours are willing to lead them down that path, that's not true this time. It's missing. Polling shows a majority of Americans want a ceasefire. A majority of independents want a ceasefire. A majority of Republicans want a ceasefire. And over 80% of Democrats want a ceasefire. But our leaders aren't willing to lead yet and stop the bloodshed, even though we live in a different world. But we live in that different world because too many people over the past few decades and the past 4 weeks have seen firsthand the terrible dividends of our financial support for Benjamin Netanyahu's vision of ethnic cleansing in Gaza and the West Bank. On Sunday morning talk shows, Barry Weiss bemoans to baby boomer audiences how China has used TikTok to brainwash the youths against America. But the truth is, the internet has let millennials and Gen Z see primary sources of what's done in our names with our tax dollars for our entire adult lives, and we are repulsed, we are ashamed. The first generation sizably inoculated against the propaganda that Palestinians don't deserve peace and freedom equal to that of Israelis. That defiance of the propaganda has led to an escalation. To declare opposition to Israel's bombing of hospitals and schools to be anti-Semitism, to declare opposition to the idea of airstrikes against mosques and refugee camps and crowded markets to be anti-Semitism, to declare opposition to Itamar Ben-Gvir's gleeful arming of illegal settlers in the West Bank with assault rifles to be anti-Semitism, to call anti-Zionism anti-Semitism, to call my anti-Zionist Jewish wife an anti-Semite, to call my anti-Zionist Jewish son an anti-Semite, to call my other anti-Zionist Jewish friends and family, people I love here in this crowd, anti-Semites. What a terrible lie. Here's my wife's favorite bit of Yiddish. My wife's favorite bit of Yiddish in response is gay cock and offen yam. And if you speak Yiddish, you know what I'm saying, and you can ask me later. I'm not going to say it where the news cameras are. Conflating Israel and Jewish identity is anti-Semitic, whether you're condemning the Israeli government or supporting it. Denying Jewish identity because it doesn't conform to support for an ethno-state is anti-Semitic. The lie, told consciously or not, I don't care, some people really believe it in their hearts, but it doesn't make it less of a lie. Some people really believe the earth is flat, and when they say it, it's still a lie. Okay? But even if you sincerely believe that anti-Zionist Jews are anti-Semites and they aren't really Jews, that's a lie. Okay? And if you don't support Israel's military brutal assault happening now or decades of apartheid that you're an anti-Semite, that's a lie. And we have to confront that lie. Because it's a Hail Mary meant to silence us. Okay? Because they know it's not working this time. But they want to at least buy time to finish the job in Gaza and to start the next round in the West Bank. And it's a braided whip to keep elected leaders in line, to keep you in line. Anti-Semitism is real. It is pernicious. It is disgusting. I've stood against it in the streets. I know a lot of you that I recognize here have stood against it in the streets too. And for anyone listening, I loudly condemn anti-Semitism as loud as I did in 2017. All right, and it has no place in the anti-war movement. But this, today, is not anti-Semitism. Someone's going to lie about you today. They're going to put your picture on Twitter and say you're an anti-Semite for being here. But we know it's a lie, and you know what? Everyone else knows it's a lie too. That's what's happening. 20 years ago, many of us protested against the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it was lonely and leaderless, and we were mocked and silenced in the press. But today, the people who are supposedly our leaders, they're who are lonely. In Democratic city council chambers, in Republican state assemblies, in governor's houses and university administration offices, in the White House, sit the people who are out of step, who won't listen when we say ceasefire now. We're the majority, and they're not listening. They think they can wait us out, that we'll get distracted and move on, that they can tell 80% of their base to get lost. Because if we don't get in line next November, the really bad guys will be on the ballot, who will do the same stuff, but probably worse. They're a character of somebody out of touch that call your opposition to genocide a fad. I'll admit I'm worried about what's going to happen if they don't change course, when they find out how wrong they are about how much we care. I do think the really bad guys are worse. But I'm also shocked and appalled every moment of every day of what's done in my name, with a share of every dime I pay in taxes. I'm shocked and appalled in the images of ruin and carnage in Gaza, and I'm shocked and appalled at the easy, sneering dismissal that comes from White House briefings. The establishment is not listening to us. Every day that they don't, the death toll climbs. There are more dead children, there are more orphans, there's more death, there's more disease and suffering. Take out your phones. Everybody take out your phones right now. Come on, I'll wait. Get them out. I've got something I need you to write down. Write it down. Morgan McGarvey's office phone number in Louisville, 502-582-5129. That's 502-582-5129. His DC office is 202-225-5401. 202-225-5401. You're going to call them both. You're going to call them today. I don't care if you called them yesterday. You're going to call them today, and you're going to call them every day after this and demand he signed the ceasefire resolution. I think he's close to cracking, okay? But we can't let up. And even if he does, that's not the end, because we have to build a movement to finally end American support for this suffering, both acute and in the long term. And that's never going to happen in the establishment. Like healthcare, like fighting for climate justice, like fighting to end war. Capitalism cannot be on the right side of history. They can't do it. Okay, but we can, because we're going to build something, because it's always socialism or barbarism. We need a real movement in the millions that is willing to say enough is enough, that we can make the government stop and listen to us. And that won't happen overnight. I wish I could raise my fist in the air and say, general strike, peace now, and it happened. But we're going to build to it. We're going to get there. The better world is possible. And thank God, because this one's a nightmare. From the river to the sea means something. It doesn't mean what they lie and say it means. Okay? It doesn't mean that accusation that's actually a confession. From the river to the sea means the Palestinians deserve to be free, to be treated like human beings with full rights, just like the Israelis. And that's what's going to happen. From the river to the sea. Palestine shall be free. Palestine shall be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine shall be free. Palestine shall be free.
Thank you.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine shall be free.
Palestine shall be free.
Whew, thank you.
Hey, can I say one thing?
Just a moment. It's been a lot of talking. I'm going to welcome a dear friend up who's going to share some song. And while she's getting just prepared and set up, I would love to take a moment just to breathe here in this moment, be together. We've heard so much from each other, from our friends, from our community members. And I don't want us to forget that we are here because there is murder. There's genocide happening. And we are standing up against that. And so for just a moment, in power, we'll stand in silence before we sing as a collective. Thank you. Thank you all. Again, if you have access needs, if you need to sit down, there's space here. If you can't hear, please come forward. If you have small children, we want to protect you. And if you do not look like me and your body feels in danger, please come to the center. And those of us who our bodies can pass in more safe spaces, be outside to protect those who do not feel safe in this space. I would just love to welcome Julia and Lacey. Are you singing? And Lacey and Valerie. Whoa! It's a trio. It's a trio. We're gonna sing together, lifting up our voices.
All right, y'all. We're gonna sing a song by Adrienne Marie Brown. And if you know it, sing it out. You'll learn it. We breathe together. We breathe together. We breathe together. Stop the occupation with me. We breathe together. We breathe together. We breathe together. Stop the occupation. We breathe together. We breathe together. We breathe together. Stop the occupation. We march. We march together. We march together. We march together. Stop the occupation. We march. We march together. We march together. We march together. Stop the occupation. We grieve. We grieve together. We grieve together. We grieve together. Stop the occupation. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Stop the occupation. We breathe. We breathe together. We breathe together. We breathe together. Stop the occupation. Ceasefire! 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 Stop the occupation. Ceasefire! 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 Stop the occupation. Stop the occupation. Stop the occupation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Adrienne Marie Brown. We have a couple more speakers, and then we're free to just hang and be together in fellowship. I'd love to welcome you up. Yes. Let's get some love. Let's get some love. These folks are giving up their time and their voices. Some people are speaking in draft, and some for the first time. So give it up, and I'm just going to let this person introduce themselves.
Free, free Palestine!
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 What do you want?
Ceasefire!
What do you want?
Ceasefire!
When do you want it?
Now!
When do you want? What do you want?
Ceasefire!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Ceasefire!
When do you want it?
Now!
The battery is down to 30%, so it is going to die before too long.
Free Palestine!
If you would like to keep following,
Free Palestine!
I've got a lot on the backup phone on TikTok right now, Jerry Riots. So once this dies, once the battery's done, hop over to TikTok and there will be another live stream.
Hello, my name is Mary. I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to speak as loudly and as clearly as possible. My name is Meredith, and I am an anti-Zionist Jew. I use those terms because I know that Zionism is a colonial, racist ideology. I went to Israel in 2012 on the Birthright trip and only came home more confused about the occupation. In 2014, I went to the Freedom Theater in Jenin and spent 2 weeks traveling to smaller villages in the occupied territories of the West Bank and Hebron Hills. I saw firsthand what the occupation looks like. Once you see it, it is something you cannot unsee. What is happening in Gaza is genocide, it is ethnic cleansing, and we must call out these crimes against humanity because the United States government is complicit in genocide. People of Gaza, families of Gaza, are literally being wiped out right now, and we must not let them be wiped out in silence. We must speak their names. We must come together. The devastation, death, and destruction is something we cannot look away from. I believe the innocent loss of civilian life and the bombing of Gaza and hospitals will not bring safety to the hostages being held by Hamas. The bombing of innocent civilians also put their lives in indescribable danger. So that is why we have to come together to mourn, to grieve, to rage, to call our representatives. I am Jewish and I am here to say, not in my name. Ceasefire now.
Thank you, Meredith. Let's hear it one more time for Meredith.
We charge you with genocide! Joe Biden, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Netanyahu, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Netanyahu, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Joe Biden, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Joe Biden, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide!
Let's lift it up! Louder than the music on the streets! Let's hear our voices!
Ceasefire now!
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 Woo!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Yeah, keep it going. I would like to. I'm so honored by all of the folks that are coming up to speak. Right now we have a student that is coming up, and it is the next generation who is lifting up their voices and demanding, even though they do not yet have the right to vote, they are still speaking up and speaking out. So let's lift it up for this student who's getting ready to share their voices. Let's hear it.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Can everyone hear me? Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me now?
Yeah!
Here, I'll just hold it like this, all right? Hey everyone, I want to first thank you all so much for showing out in support of a ceasefire in Gaza, Palestinian liberation, and peace. I could offer a plethora of words about how peace has been co-opted by individuals, organizations, and peace is the foundation upon all Christian faith. Whether this is peace amongst each other across the globe is non-existent. Palestine is not an idea of hate to the occupation. If you are for peace, you must fight for liberation. The liberation of Palestine is a fight for all of us, in our hearts, our minds, and our souls. It is a litmus test for those of us who claim that we are always on the side of peace and conflict. Well, here's your chance. Stand with the people of Palestine, and you will stand for peace, arm in arm alongside all of us here. Long live Palestine.
Let's hear that. Long live Palestine!
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 Yes, 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 yes. Say again, we couldn't hear you.
From the river to the sea.
Yeah, let's shout it out. There's a sounding. Let's do it.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Just a reminder, if you need to come and sit, you are welcome to. If you have access needs, you are welcome to come into this center space. And if you are of the Palestinian community and would like to share something on your heart, please meet me over here. As you see, I have a group of phenomenal humans behind me who are going to lead us in song. Farah?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for oh my gosh, overwhelmed with everybody coming out to today. Such a beautiful display of diversity as well. We just want to sing a song together. We have a few more speakers. I know we're getting a little bit tired of speakers, but hopefully the song gives us a little bit of energy. We'll take more chants and then we'll call it a day. So we have a couple more speakers, all right, guys? So we just want to sing this song. We're going to try to do it in a round, but I'm not sure. I think a lot of you will know this. It's an interfaith song.
May everyone meet the peace and unafraid. And everyone meet the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And into plowshares turn their swords. We shall honor no more. And into plowshares turn their swords. We shall learn no more.
We're getting it.
In the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone in the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And into plowshares turn your swords. Nation shall learn no more. And into plowshares turn their swords. Nation shall learn war no more. We're gonna do it as a round. You guys ready? Yes. All right. Let's do it one more time all together, and then I'll break you up into 3 groups. We're feeling confident. 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay. And everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. And into plowshares turn their swords. Shall live in peace and unafraid. And everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live in peace and unafraid. Into plowshares turn their swords. Nation shall learn.
Fellowship of Reconciliation.
Hello, everybody. My sign reads, "The United States has a moral obligation to stop the slaughter. And as Americans, I do have a statement. I do want to tell you. Hi there. Hold this up. Hi. The Fellowship of Reconciliation is the oldest piece for a ceasefire now. What I'm going to read is from our national office and from our leader there, Ariel Gold. The Fellowship of Reconciliation unequivocally condemns actions of violence that avoid the harder battles for justice. The killing and maiming of civilians, whether by Hamas, national law. Also unjustifiable are the actions of Israel that led to this current war. Decades of military occupation with no end in sight, apartheid policies, recurrent massacres, and a siege so brutal that it has turned Gaza into the largest open-air prison on earth. Take the time to call your representatives in Congress. Tell them to call for a ceasefire, that you don't want the United States to continue funding a war that cannot bring peace, that the total siege Israel has imposed on the people of Gaza, no water, no food, no electricity, no fuel, is immoral and a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. In the words of the letter to the Romans, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil for good. Instead of pouring fuel on this already raging fire, we must see peace talks resume and get at the root causes of the violence, decades of occupation, apartheid, and siege. Let us heed the words of the prophet Isaiah. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their hooks and their spears into pruning hooks, as well as the teachings of all our various holy books. To save a life is to save the world entire.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fellowship of Reconciliation. Thank you so much. Again, as Farah just shared, we have a few more speakers. You are welcome to come and sit with us. You are welcome to be where you need to be. Oh, would you like to come? Let's lift it up. Let's lift up the energy. Let's lift up the noise.
Free, free Palestine!
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 From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you all for being here. My family has been in Louisville since the 1910s, which is decades longer than the current nation state of Israel has existed. I am a Jewish person, and I care about the Jewish people in our diaspora deeply. I will not and honestly cannot claim to speak for all of my community, but I'll speak for myself and my experience with the hope that it touches the still small voice in others who are with us. It is complicated, it is on the winds of history, whatever, it is an experiment in real politics. This is all true, but there's also something really simple here. Stop the bombing. War wounds in ways that reverberate through our generations, and violence begets more violence. The blood pollutes the land and causes the Shekhinah, the presence of holiness, to rise up and leave the land. That's what we learn in Bamidbar. A Jewish safety that is built through the force of settler colonialism will never be a whole or true safety. I cannot stand for this being done in my name. Never again means never again. That's just it. I believe in a Jewish future and a Jewish contribution to Olam Haba, the world to come, that includes and uplifts Palestinian people, Palestinian community, and most essentially, Palestinian joy and safety. I am proud to be here with others calling for a ceasefire, not because I believe it'll miraculously fix or definitively end this conflict. I am not in Gaza. May we begin and continue to work together for Tikkun Olam, a repaired world, a world where we can all be free, safe, and in community, as we have been, and God willing, can continue to be.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free
Our last
Palestine!
speaker.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Netanyahu, you can't hide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
We will charge you with genocide!
We will charge you with genocide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
We'll charge you with genocide!
We'll charge you with genocide!
Brothers and sisters, Salamu Alaikum. Shalom Aleichem in Hebrew. We are Palestinians, Americans. We are Americans. We have the right to assembly, and we have the right to voice our opinion. Before I start, two very painful realities. The first one, a child in Gaza is getting asked, what are you gonna be when you grow up? And he said, children in Gaza do not grow up. They die young. Israel is killing the childhood of Palestinian children in Gaza. Children, they are writing their names on their hands and arms and legs, because when they are chopped and incinerated by American Israeli bombs, they don't want to be buried in unnamed graves. They are writing their names on their legs and arms so they can be recognized after they die. So far in this war, 9,461 lives. 9,461 people. 9,461 dreams are gone. And please don't look at this number as a number. Each one of those people have a life, have a dream, have a family, has a father, has a mother, has a son, has people who love them. So it's not just a number. Most of those people, 70% or more, are women and children. 70% of those children under the age of 12. Lots of them are babies, days or months old. So what did they do to deserve to be killed? More than 4,000 children in 1 month only became orphans. 1,400 women became widows. 500,000 women and girls became displaced. 32,000 people got injured, mostly women and children. Let's cease fire now. Let's cease fire now. 1.3 million Palestinians were displaced in a month, trying like to get another Nakba, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. 33,000 homes, and some say 50% of the houses in the whole Gaza are destroyed, whether completely or partially. Imagine that. 188 schools were bombed, damaged completely, under a lot of false accusations. 30 UN workers, not militants, 30 UN workers got killed, targeted and killed. The UN estimate that more than 400 children get killed and injured in Gaza every single day. 29 journalists, 25 ambulance drivers, 16 Red Cross workers were killed. 35 mosques, 3 churches were destroyed. Many hospitals, as much or as many as 16 as of today, stopped their work. Let's stop the bombing of Gaza now. Stop the bombing now. Stop the bombing now. Stop the bombing now.
Stop the bombing now.
Stop the bombing now.
Stop the bombing now.
Let's stop the ethnic cleansing. Let's stop the massacres in Gaza. Let's stop the killing. Palestinians have the right to live a free life. And like Israelis, Palestinians have the right to live. we stand here, and as I see Jews, Christians, and Muslims in solidarity with the Palestinians. They say 60 or 70 or 80% of the American people are with ceasefire. I'm gonna tell you something. I lived in America for 25 years, and I know Americans, and I have faith in Americans. The other 30 or 40%, if they know the real story, you're gonna find 100% in America standing with ceasefire. Let's stop the war now. Our President Biden, this is a call for you today. Listen up, President Biden. You can play a better role, you and the American administration, in the political arena. You can, if you want, help achieve peace in the Middle East. Stop sending unlimited amounts of arms to Israel. Arms is used to kill children. President Biden, our president, bring the conflicting parties to the table of peace. Let everybody in the region live in peace. There is a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. 2.3 million Palestinians live in the largest open-air prison since 2006. A lot of your children, and imagine it, a lot of your children would have born and live all their life in this jail. Let's stop this war. Let us, and let's call for all prisoners to be freed. Let us stop the conflict. With genocide.
You'll be charged with genocide.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, occupation got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, occupation got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, occupation's got to go.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel crime.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel crime.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel crime.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime.
What do we want now?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you.
Our very last speaker, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Wow. Wow. I really wanted to get here and just be here with you
All right,
in
child,
solidarity.
struggle bus. My bad.
It is important that we show up. This is our struggle too. This is done on our dollar, on our dime, and not with our permission. When I walked up, I heard this amazing speaker speaking about the children. No child should ever have to deal with that. We must free Palestine. We must free every one of those children, every one of those prisoners. As a mother of 6 and a grandmother of 3, every day, every time I see a news article or I watch a video, I'm in tears. No one deserves this.
and this struggle has gone on far too long. I stand with you in solidarity. I ask that you give me the opportunity to do anything to show up for you in any way possible. We must cease fire now, and that should be our unified message. Ceasefire on Palestinians. We must stop the terror, the bombings in our name. No one deserves the genocide. I believe in the people, and I believe in people power, and we must continue to push so that our elected officials do what's right by the people of Palestine. Too much is happening in our names, and we don't want that. All I can say is I'm with you in solidarity. I love you. Thank you. And let's keep showing up for each other.
Thank you. And how do we show up for you on Tuesday? How do we show up for her on Tuesday? Let's get to the polls and elect this woman to Metro Council. Yes. 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 We lied. We said that was the last speaker, but we lied because we have a powerful, amazing woman who would like to come and share a few words. We have some time if you need to go, if you have children, if you have access needs, we understand. If you can stay, let's give a round of applause and a shout for this amazing human who's coming to speak right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Celine. I did not plan to speak here today, but there's no way that I cannot speak. When I was 2 years old, my family left Rwanda because of the 1994 genocide. After 100 days, 800,000 people were killed while the entire world knew exactly what was happening, and they watched. They watched and allowed white supremacists and imperialists to kill more than 800,000 people in 1994 in Rwanda. I have only been able to go back to my country one time. I cannot imagine what it is like for people who are still continuing to go through terror for 75 years, for much longer. Everything that happens to the Palestinian people happens to us as well. Stand with Palestine. It's free Palestine forever. Not another person can be lost. Please call your representatives every single day. Tell your parents, tell your family, tell your friends. We cannot let this happen again. Please. Thank you.
There's nothing else that can be said. That was the mic drop. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your bravery. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you all. We really appreciate you for being here today, for your courage, for your strength, for your artistic, these signs, holding up this flag, being willing to stand here and say, no more. We demand a ceasefire. One more time. Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now!
Thank you, and once again, I am a liar. There is one more person who has...
I am going to be very brief. Our support for Gaza is essential. But there is one more thing that we forgot. It is now open season on all Palestinians. In the West Bank, Jenin has been invaded more than once. 16 people were shot in cold blood in Nablus. Young men are being killed by settlers in Jerusalem and all over Palestinian territory. Palestine, the entire Palestine, West Bank, Gaza, 1948 Palestine, all Palestine has to be in our heart. And our support has to be for all Palestinians everywhere.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. for your courage, for your bravery. You are welcome to stay here and fellowship with one another. That is all we have planned for you today.
See, I looked her up.
Okay, y'all, so just in time, my battery is about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the live stream for now. I appreciate everyone tuning in. It's Free Palestine for me. Israel is committing war crimes. The United States is backing up Israel committing war crimes. It is being well documented. It's just that mainstream media in the United States is not reporting on it. So do your research. Look for outlets outside of the U.S. They're going to be more likely to not push propaganda in favor of Israel. In fact, there's a number of countries in the UN that are trying to get the U.S. to stop supporting Israel in the bombings. So yeah, a lot going on, but Free Palestine here in Louisville, Kentucky. Going to go ahead and drop the live again. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Everybody stay strong and stay safe.